I guess I better go live quickly because I don't think it's StreamYard. I just did a speed test on my computer or internet. Looks fine. I think it's StreamYard. I honestly do. They grew so fast and added so many bells and whistles. It's like you have one job to make a super chats on YouTube. That's it. That's your job. Anyway, I want to tell you a story. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. And it's kind of like relatively recent, but it's a lesson if you girls want it. Okay? I know you know everything. I know the entire preponderance of Western civilization has blown so much. All that smoke coming out of Canada was blown right up your ass chute. That's where all that smoke was blown, and you got all the answers at 19. But let me tell you a story. And it's just for posterity. I know, guys. Guys, I know. Sit down, guys. I know. I know they're not going to listen. I know this is for posterity so that when I'm long dead and not ancient, future historians go back and dig up the ancient YouTube archives, say, why did the population just die? Look at this guy over here. And then I'll have the reputation of Marcus Aurelius. All right. Say, oh, he's really pissed off, though. Yeah, Marcus is probably pissed off too. You girls don't know who that is. Never mind. You know pop culture and Taylor Swift. You don't know Roman history. Play the war date game. What's that? Look it up. Ask girls, when was World War II? They won't know. They don't know. When was World War I? They'll guess it was later than World War II. You think I'm making that up? Anyway, if we haven't really pissed off the women enough what it is, let me tell you the story. There is, not was, there is this girl, and I've known her for well over a decade now. And I met her in my travels and travails throughout the United States. And she comes from a poor family. Her parents made bad decisions, not her fault. Her sister, of course, became a teenage pregnant mom because that's how you get out of poverty. And she has not that there's anything necessarily wrong with this. This is human nature, but she absolutely abhors work. Absolutely. That doesn't mean she don't work. She just wants to do the absolute minimum amount. And she's not wealthy. She wants a guy, and she was pretty at one time, but guess what happened? Naturally, she gained weight. And she gained enough weight that she was no longer physically attractive. We've already lost all the women in the West because that's impossible. Women are beautiful at any size, at any age, no matter how many gray pubes they got above their hoo-ha and how dried up it is. Who cares that her boobs look like rays? That's a beautiful woman. How dare you judge? How dare you have preferences, sir? You're not a human being. You're a robot. Do what we tell you. Like what we tell you to like. And when I met her, it was, how could I say, it was apparent that somebody, she was barely going to survive on her own. She would need government assistance. She would need help with the family. She'd work, but there was going to be no wealth. There would be no retirement. She would not work up enough money to cover her expenses and then start squirreling away for retirement. This person was barely going to get by in life. And in times past, a husband would have taken care of this. She would have been an okay mom, had the kids, maybe not, maybe just been a trophy. Well, whatever. She gained some weight. And so a couple times I try to help out my friends, but I've learned, people prefer food. People, and this is not a, I'm not berating these people. Some people put more value on a life of leisure and ease and food and the avoidance of pain, meaning the avoidance of working out and exercising, which I like. All right. Some people are not like some people. Apparently, some people in the world don't want to charge up no 8,000-foot mountain with me. Can you imagine that? Actually, a schism between the gym bros and the hiking bros. Like, feel like I can't. The gym guys can't stand cardio, and the cardio guys can't stand the gym. It's true. But some people did just it's like, no, it's so painful, it's so bad. I'd rather live this unfulfilled life where there's in women's case, there's not gonna be a husband, there's not gonna be a man. There will not be a family of my own. There will not be any children. And I'll just eat my food and have a good and but I think she was accepting of that. She wasn't there pining, "Why can't I find a man?" Wasn't happening. Well, anyway, for whatever reason, which I'm left to conclude was philosophical thought and a completely, um, self perpetuated it was all her responsibility, her, not fault, she didn't do anything wrong, she did something incredibly right. It was her, due to her, her own individual choices, she made a thought about things, and also she says, "I'm sick of this, I wanna lose weight." Now, at this point of our story, maybe you ladies might wanna go talk to your therapists, maybe you wanna take a break, put it on pause. This is no doubt triggering. You're all suffering PTSD from the things I've already said, but why don't you go put it on pause, talk to your therapist, and come back when you're ready? All right, now you're back. And what she did was she decided that she was going to not only exercise regularly at the gym, she was also going to diet. Sorry, trigger warning. And what was and she's posting the occasional picture. I'm not one for encouragement. You either do this stuff or you don't. I don't give a shit. But I'm like, "Hey, you're looking good." Because she was like, "Hey, look at you." And, how many God, what, 65% of the women in the United States are like this? It's like there's a pretty girl underneath all that fat. There is. You've seen her, like, she got a pretty face. She'd be gorgeous if it weren't for all that fat blocking it. Well, oh, by God, by golly, here comes well-endowed Molly. Guess what happened after 5, 6 months of religiously going to the gym and dieting? Not only did she lose the weight, and she's very attractive. I mean, she's like, "Hey, look at this gal over here." Guess what happened? Well, several guys started asking her out. Could you imagine that? It's almost like it's biologically programmed. The plot of the story, the shock, 3rd act, and one guy she happened to like and also be physically attracted to. And I don't think it was more, I mean, okay, 5 months you start off, but when she started looking good, I don't think it was more than a month, certainly no more than 2, where she was officially good looking. And then all of a sudden now she's got a boyfriend. How did that happen? Dooby dabby dabby dooby. It is a Scooby Doo mystery. And of course, eh, uh, facetiousness aside, being a dickhead, it's so fucking hilarious, but it's only more pathetic than it is hilarious that you girls sit there for how many decades now? How many decades? Just trying everything under the sun aside from just being physically attractive for men. Instead of like the logical common sense thing saying, "What do men want?" Maybe we ought to deliver that. Oh my God, look, I got a guy. I'm just amazed how many generations have gone by where you got the fat shaker and whatever bullshit Oprah was telling you and the Jenny Craig and all and curves and oh, we lift the foot up every hour and that's our workout. It's just for women. And then crying you can't find no man, which this girl didn't do. I just sit here amazed. Because this is there's no gray. There's no room for debate. There's no debate. You're wrong. I'm right. You're not physically attractive. Guys aren't going to go out with fat chicks. Complain and howl at the moon and call everybody names and come up with the most delusional theory that men have been socially conditioned and can therefore be socially conditioned out of it. No, no. Yet another grain of sand on the mountain of sand, on the balance of truth and lies, showing you that if you're thin and physically attractive, men will ask you out. And the thing I want to point out is okay, now she looks very young. She looks good, but she's in her 30s now, younger 30s. And another lie you girls keep telling yourself is age doesn't matter. Just okay, fine. Again, this is for posterity. This is going to convince a single girl. But all I could sit and think about for a while there was like, if this girl had just done this, or sit down. Everyone got their sitting down chairs. Everyone ring your bell. Your southern antebellum South bell, ring it to fetch Beauregard so he may get you your fainting couch. Everyone in their fainting chairs. Or maybe if you girls just didn't get fat after high school in the first place, I thought, well, she could have saved herself a decade in this one category of life. Not career, not not spiritual development, not financial development. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in her romantic life, she would have saved herself a decade. And not only a decade, but this is a decade of her youth. Now, she is very fortunate to have good genetics and look very good for I think, a 32 or 33-year-old woman. But not every woman has that. I know you girls don't need no. I know. Shh, 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 shh. We've heard it for decades. Thank you. You save your breath. You needn't repeat it. Just sit there and stew. But that's still a price to pay. 10 years of your youth and beauty as a woman, if you are interested in attracting members of the opposite sex. That's horrible. That's a horrible price to pay because you're just too damn lazy. It is. And whereas 10 years of a woman's youth, when it comes to the sexual marketplace and romance and all that, that's usually that's a death blow. Usually it's over. You're not going to get the guy you could have had you had more foresight and not been raised by a single mom or a feminist or men-hating teachers your entire life. You know, if you had the sit down, if you had the sympathy or the ability to think of the not even altruism, but the capacity to think of what other people's incentives might be, you wouldn't have wasted that 10 years. But that can be a crippling blow to many women if you waste your 20s. And for the most part, most young women, as do most men, you boys are pissing away your money on dumb things as well. But I'm just pointing this out. But this girl only wasted 10 years. Man, if I don't see it with my own generation, watching the 40-somethings and 50-somethings, 40 is the new 25. Get the fuck out of here. The temper tantruming I see with you girls putting up fat ads, celebrating obesity. Of course, that's just corporations getting you guys to part with your money. You don't realize that. I don't know. What are we on, our third fat activist that has died under the age of 40? I don't think one of them didn't even make it to 30. Where you keep believing this bullshit that big is beautiful, men don't have requirements that are biologically hardwired. It's fascinating watching you bang your head against this wall, thinking someday it's going to break, and all you're doing is bloodying your face. Or in the case, more realistically, you're wasting your youth and beauty and any shot you have with a guy that you would settle for or like or enjoy, physically being attracted to. And I looked at her and let's do some math. Like, just think about this. Is it hard to go to the gym? Yes, it is. Is it hard to diet? Yes, it is. Although it does get easier. My technique is I just don't eat till at least 2 p.m. And if I'm going to do, like, I try not to eat till about 5, but I will have a Breve. I will have like a little bit of fat. I will have a keto ball, but that'd be like one thing. And I won't have that, certainly not till noon. And then you just go and you work out. Yes. So it doesn't hurt that much. Your body adapts to it, but it is a pain. It is a price. There's a time investment. Okay. So let's just do some quick math here. 5 months at the gym. Let's say you're going 3 days a week. 5 times 4. That's 20. Let's add 2 weeks for the third of a week. That's each month. So we're at 22 weeks, 3 days at the gym. That's 66 visits to the gym. Am I doing that right so far? An hour. Okay. So that's 66 hours. That's 1.5 work weeks. 1.5 work weeks. And she dieted, which does not take action because that's not work, but it is depriving yourself of food or limiting yourself to food that you may not like. So, a week and a half of work and giving up a vice, shall we say, for 5 months, and she now has a guy. Maybe it's not the one she's gonna marry till death do 'em part. I'm just saying. Do you girls spend more? Do you think you spend more over the course of your life from I don't know, when did the feminists start getting into your brain and putting the poison in there? 12, 13? Men are evil. They're bad. How dare they? Men only want one thing. You damn right we do. Get it through your fucking heads. Which I know, posterity, I know. But the math, going back to the math, so for a week and a half of work, spread out, amortized over 5 months, and giving up a vice, is that less of a price to pay than an entire life of rationalizing, of crying yourself to sleep and torturing yourself? Because I'm an alcoholic, all right? And I would torture myself should I have the drink. So I know what that is. Kind of like, oh, if I do this, if I do that, if I go for a walk and all that, which actually I would do. Sometimes I would, well, if I bike to that town, I could get hammered and bike all the way back home. Actually, those are some good times. Those are some good times biking across the prairie. But when you add up all the diet books and the diet podcasts and the this thing and the that thing and the reading of the Oprah and the listening to the Oprah, but the not doing of anything and the mental torture over what I gotta imagine from 13 to when is like the absolute end of a woman's sexual, like say 53, let's just say 4 decades where you care about men anymore, like menopause, you're pretty much in menopause. Uh at 53, right? So you don't really care that much about guys anymore. So from 13 to 53, just to keep it a round number of 40 years, do you think you've wasted more calories of energy simply worrying about this bullshit than if you had just gone to the fucking gym, set down the fucking ho-hos, and like my buddy, all of a sudden got yourself a fucking man? I know the answer. It's not even close. It's not even close the amount of energy and work and labor you put in to avoid being attractive or to rationalize not than if you just did without the food and hit the gym. Not even just go for long walks. Listen to your health podcast while you go for long walks. And what as the philosopher economist in me, I just love it. Where here's another no duh moment. Here's another bit of empirical data. Oh my God, the girl who lost the weight ended up getting the guy. To me, my macabre fascination is how many, literally hundreds of millions, maybe over the generation and billions of Western women are going to believe this feminist, Marxist, man-hating bullshit, yet still pine for guys with giving absolutely no consideration to what they buy. It's not like a choice. Not like a choice. We don't say, well, I choose to like the thin girls with the big, bodacious tatas. No, it's programmed. But I am fascinated watching the mental acrobatics generation after generation of women go through to ignore this reality because are you whatever it is part of the philosophizing. Are you afraid of labor? Are you so afraid of labor that you're more afraid of labor than love? Do you love food more than you love good sex? What? I'm fascinated because the behavior tells me now that is ultimately all that matters is the choice. If I look at it, it looks like women love food and sloth more than they love guys. The exact same thing could be leveled against men, to be intellectually fair and honest. Because what is it? God, the number keeps going up. It used to be 70%. Now I think we're at 75 or 75% of people. That includes the younger people. Maybe it's the younger people like 67, 68, maybe 70, and overall 75% of the population is overweight. But if essentially the same percentage of men and women are overweight, which indicates to me you love food, laziness, and sloth, then you want or love or desire sex, romance, whatever else, companionship that comes from the opposite sex, both men and women. And I just, wow, man, what are you alive for? This is your life? This constant tortured? Because I understand women don't want men that much. Again, the polling data, men are about 7th in young dating marriage age women's lives. They get there about 7th. But you inevitably bump off the first 6. And then you get to the point like, okay, I got everything stabilized, the finances and my career, my education. I got my triple masters. And okay, I'm this and that. And then you're like, well, now it's time to get a man. Well, how much do you want a man? Well, you want a man, but you're not going to give up the food. So what should be there in this polling is food, but not. I think we're back. Hang on. I'm going to wait till that chart gets better. Bear with me. All right, we're back now. Sorry about that. There should be some word that you combine that combines gluttony and sloth. I guess it'd be called leisure to an unhealthy level. Just admit it. You want a leisure, luxurious, relaxing, easy life. An easy life. An easy life. And why don't you and just be honest about it? And I've said it a million times before. If the food and the leisure and the avoidance of pain is more important than men and love and sex, just admit it. But then stop ruining your life bitching about men. But man, do I have a frontline show to watch you all complain about men. It's wonderful. It's not Cox. It's not Cox. This is it's not my internet. I did a speed test on my internet. It's StreamYard. It's StreamYard that's doing it. So there you go. I find it fascinating. I find it interesting. Let's go to super chats. We got one. My truth, $5. Big is beautiful. Menopause is the new fertile 23. But Chad, it's hard to stay in shape. And my prince will come. You will accept these truths and like it. Right. Right. I just couldn't care. Is that all we had? That may be all we had. Let me double check because I don't want to miss because we cut in and out. I don't know if that reset the. What it does is. Did I start at 3? How long we been going? Yeah. Okay. Nope. That was it. We only got one. All right. Anyway, so link below for any of you rare and exceptional girls decide to like take matters into your own hand and be responsible and affect your future, affect your outcomes. I have a couple links below. One Asshole Consulting. If you want to know how to get to guys, call me up. Well, don't call me up. Email me. I don't talk to people unless it's $300 an hour. Then I talk to people. If you're serious, do you want to get a guy? I'll help you. But you gotta really want it. So assholeconsulting.com. Also link below is a link to a course called The Dad You Never Had. It is co-ed. I had to think about if I was a father, if I had sons and daughters, because men and women are different. Yes, they are. Go pass out on your fainting couch. There is stuff for girls in there too. And since you probably were brought up without a father or your dad was a pussy and then, was worried that your mom would divorce him or whatever, there's just no father. I'll admit that. There are no fathers. Fathers have failed America. Mothers failed America too, but fathers have failed America. Guess what, girls? Your dad was the first guy in your life that you should have picked up some basic things about men. All right. And your dad should have sat you down and talked to you, but we don't do that anymore because dad's just some dumb oaf. And then we wonder why everyone's on antidepressants. Girls, whining cats and crying and sobbing. Ha ha! So there's that. And then what was the third one that I had linked below? Dan, you never had. Oh, the menu. Life without the opposite sex. Finally, in conclusion, if you girls don't want to put in the effort that is required to get men, please stop wasting your life chasing after men. It's that simple. You want to get into this nightclub, it's $100 cover charge. But I don't want to pay the $100 cover charge. Well, then you're not getting in. So stop wasting your life trying to figure a way to get into this impenetrable nightclub. The only way to get into this nightclub is to spend $100. You don't want to spend the $100? Find something else to do with your Saturday night. But this isn't your Saturday night. This is your life. And I see a lot of women ruining their lives like this young girl did for 10 years, pining for guy. Well, admittedly, she wasn't the core of her purpose in life. But all you girls, men are there. Oh my God, I can't believe it. All these dumbass talk shows. Hey, it's fine to give up on guys. Stop wasting your life. Stop bitching about men and go live your own life to the best of your non-men in your life ability. And that's what the menu is. The financial geniuses over at, well, I think it's Morgan Stanley. They're the one, again, they came up with the rise of the she economy. Well, they're forecasting half of you ain't going to be married, 45%. All right. And that's fine. That's a choice. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do with your life? And I recommend 1, you stop crying. 2, you stop secretly pining for men. 3, you just give it up so it stops ruining and lessening your day. 4, stop crying yourself to sleep. 5, no, you don't need the box wine. And 6, go live a life. And you'll find that in the menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. It's a menu. It's a book. It's got shareables where both men and women, appetizers. There's the men's menu because men and women are different. And there's the women's menu. And read through that. It's liberating. It's free. I love how you girls you claim to be, we're finally liberated from men. We don't need men to live anymore. We don't need them for survival. Yes, but you still are enslaved by them because you somehow want them. I'm saying truly be free, sister. Liberate yourself psychologically, emotionally. Go live a life because if you ain't gonna get thin, then you ain't gonna get the guy. And since there ain't gonna be the guy in your life, you better make sure that you live your life to the best of your ability. And you do not need no man. You do not need him. I'm saying go avail yourself of the freedom that comes with that. You can find that in the menu. All right, we got two super chats. Free gender, $2. How do I send you emails for long form Q&A? Go to assholeconsulting.com. It's where you send all requests. And I charge, right? So free gender, I swear to God, I don't know what happened to 2023. Get to the fucking point. I know you Zoomers and millennials were taught by your teachers like, well, it has to be 4 pages minimum. And you think that's every email or memo. Get to the goddamn point. And the longer it is, the more I charge. On average, you're charging about $40 per request. Did you know, Matt, 2 Canadian? The snake came to Eve in the Garden of Eden first. I know the allegory. I know the parable. I know. Fine. Okay, there might be some historical ancient wisdom with that. It's women are capable of choice. They are capable of choice. They display it all the time. You guys just enable it. Bill Burr, the greatest thing said in 1,000 years was I'm being deadly serious. Women are surrounded by this tornado of misinformation and nobody corrects them because we want to fuck them. All right. And if all men were just truthful with women and let them survive and let them support themselves, this wouldn't be a problem. But there's always some guy that's going to lie to a girl to get in her pants. And these girls start to actually believe the bullshit they've been told. They think they're brave. They actually think they're oppressed when the world bends over backwards for them. It's legal to discriminate against men in this society for government contracts, scholarships, whatever else. And they're just, so oppressed. All right. You don't get that mentality by making someone endure reality and suffer the consequences of their choices. Girl doesn't change the oil, engine blows up. How many guys would come in there and put a new engine in just for the chance they might get laid? So I don't think there's something, but Ugly girls, they got to get good GPAs. They got to get good skills. They got to, well, at least in the olden days, the ugly girls were nice. Ugly girls end up going in IT, computers, accounting, all that other stuff, make good money because they didn't get bailed out. And they did show genuine responsibility and agency. My truth, $5. Genuine question, Cappy. Do you think Stanley's economy accounted for men going gold and all variants of GTOW into their study and forecast big wrench? I don't think I read through it. It was more of a marketing study. It was showing how different sectors would grow over the next decade, basically to 2023 or 2030. Sorry. It was not talking about the larger macroeconomic effects. They absolutely did not account for that. No one is accounting for that. Maybe my next book coming up is going to talk about it. Maybe a little bit. No, no one's accounted for that. I've indicated it to it before. Several other men have talked about it. The trade shortage with Mike Rowe, he's been on this for a long time. But the world has no idea what's coming. No, I do. That's why I bought food. That's why I got tools. That's why I'm doing all I can on my house so that when the electricity runs out or there ain't no gas, and that's admittedly a very, very bad scenario, probably worst case. It's like I could still live. But I'd love to see all these girls in New York with their, writing for free for the Huffington Post. What happens when the electricity goes out in New York and all their soy boy millennial boyfriends from Brooklyn, they got some nice beard cream, but they can't, I don't know, wire a house. They can't fix a toilet. They don't even have the tools to cut wood. That's coming. That's coming. All right. That's it. All right. So I got the things linked below. All right. Toodles.